Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm so happy to see all of you here. Thank you. 18 years ago, a 10-year-old boy, Jimmy, did what 10-year-old boys do. He went to school, he played Little League Baseball, he hung out with his friends. He also looked forward to his father's phone calls so he could share with him the highlights of his week. One day, his dad, a US Army drill sergeant, called home, and Jimmy burst with excitement. Dad, I did this, I did that. You should have seen me. It was so cool. But Drill Sergeant Dad was multitasking. He was a busy man. Looking at his computer screen, he distractedly responded to his son. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's nice, son. Did you finish your homework? At one point or another, we've all been guilty of responding this way when somebody we cared about attempted to share their joy with us. Instead of celebrating their joy, we unintentionally dampen it. Or we try to tell a bigger story. Oh, you think that's amazing? Let me tell you about the time I. Or we might warn them, like Auntie June over at Kapolei. Auntie, I booked a trip to Peru with a tour group, and I'm so excited. Ay, sus Mariosep ako. Why would you want to do that? What if the plane crashes? What if you fall off the mountain? What if you get kidnapped? What if you get diarrhea? It's all out of love. She's really just trying to be helpful. But what if we responded in a way that helped both sharer of good news and listener feel good and strengthen relationships? That is the kind of question that the science of positive psychology explores. One of its powerful tools is active constructive responding, ACR. ACR happens when someone comes to you with pretty good news, and instead of glossing over it, you lean in. You show your genuine curiosity by asking those open-ended questions like, what was it like? What did you see? How did you feel? And you celebrate their joy with them. It's the kind of listening that says, I see you, I'm with you, your joy is safe here. My husband has become somewhat of a master at this. When I come to him with something amazing to share, even if that something is amazing only in my mind, he's all in. I knew you'd crush it, he'd say. Tell me all about it. What did you learn? What was your favorite part? And before I know it, this introvert, full-blown performer, reenacting every detail with gusto. And the best part, the feeling doesn't fade. It lingers because he helps me relive the joy. Now that I know about ACR, I recognize it more readily in the wild. Recently, a friend and his wife returned from a fabulous trip to Quebec, Canada. On one of our usual hikes up Coco Crater stairs, our hiking buddies greeted him. Hey, you're back. How was the trip? What did you see? What was it like? How was the food? And he told story after story to a captive audience. You could practically see the smiley and heart emojis floating in the air. No distractions, just genuine enthusiasm and connection. So I watched this and my heart warmed, and I thought, yep, this is our tribe. ACR isn't just about friendly conversation, it can change lives. In 2008, post 9/11, thousands of soldiers experienced multiple deployments and seen persistent conflict in Iraq and Afghanistan. Rates of divorce, drug use, suicide, post traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD increased. The US Army Chief of Staff at the time, General George Casey, wanted to do something about it. So he consulted and collaborated with the top behavior scientists in the nation. His goal, to strengthen the psychological resilience of US Army soldiers. From this collaboration, the US Army Comprehensive Soldier Fitness Program was born, and it was mandated for the entire Army. By 2011, more than 77,000 soldiers completed the program. One of the psychological resilience tools that they learned was active constructive responding, ACR. Research shows that learning to connect, listen deeply, and share joy genuinely not only helps improve psychological health, but even promotes post traumatic growth. That's when soldiers who've seen combat not only recover, but thrive past the trauma. The outcome data from this program was so compelling that they've since expanded it to include Army families and Army civilians. But to facilitate the training, the learning of these psychological resilience tools, 2,500 master resilience trainers were trained. And I'm so proud to say that one of those master resilience trainers is sitting among you in this very audience. ACR is not just ACR and all the psychological resilience tools, these aren't just abstract ideas. They work. They save relationships and they save lives. Here's the truth. We all have the power to build psychological resilience. And you don't have to take the US Army Comprehensive Soldier Fitness Program. You can start small. So here's my invitation to you. The next time someone you care about, anyone, but especially people you care about and you love, come to you with joyful news, don't just gloss over it. Don't try to tell a bigger story. Try not to warn them about the unlikely consequences. Instead, lean in. Show your genuine curiosity. Ask those open ended questions. How did you feel? What was it like? Tell me all about it. Leave me no details. Because when you do that, you're not just celebrating their news, you're celebrating them. And that's how little sparks of joy turn into lasting memories. Which brings us back to Drill Sergeant Dad. Not long after that distracted phone call with his son, he completed the US Army Master Resilience training. So one evening, he calls home. Jimmy, now 11 years old, proudly shared, "Dad, I hit a home run today." This time, Dad was ready, locked in 100% for Jimmy. "Your hard work is paying off, son. That must have felt fantastic. What was it like when you rounded the bases? How did it sound like when you hit the ball?" What was the crowd response? After a few minutes of joyful storytelling, there was a pause on the line. And then Jimmy softly said, "Is that really you, Daddy?" That's the power of being fully present. Sometimes the greatest gift we can give another is not advice, not correction, not even praise, but your wholehearted, genuine, and joyful attention. And for your attention, I am so grateful. Thank you very much.